Uncover the wisdom of the feminine through soulful conversations on spirituality, healing, relationships, self-leadership, sovereignty, and so much more. I'm your host, Tamar, Gail, feminine embodiment facilitator, feminine arts mentor, and soul tantrika. In this podcast, my goal is to take you deeper into the world of the feminine, stepping more into your feminine pleasure, power, authentic truth, and your sovereignty. Welcome to the Feminine Codes podcast. There's something you have felt your entire life, a quiet knowing, buried beneath the noise, a whisper in your bones that says something is missing. But what if I told you that nothing is missing? That what you've longed for, the piece of you that feels lost, distant, unreachable, has never actually been lost at all. It was stolen, silenced, and erased. And not just in you, but in your mother, and in her mother, and the long line of women before them, your eternal ancestral line. The feminine code, the raw, untamed, sensual intelligence that once pulsed through every woman, was taken from us. Or so they thought. Because here's the thing about the feminine. You can try to suppress her. You can tell her that she's too much, too wild, too dangerous. You can cut her from the history books. You can burn her temples. You can punish her for her knowing. But you can't erase something that was woven into the fabric of existence itself. The feminine code has not been lost. It has only been hidden. But now it is waking up. Today, we begin to unearth what was buried. We begin to unravel the lies that you've been told about your body, your power, your pleasure, and your intuition. Today, we begin the journey home. So let's dive in. So why you feel disconnected, restless, and numb? You feel it, don't you? That restlessness, that dull ache in the background of your life, that gnawing feeling that no matter what you do, it never quite feels like it's enough. You follow the rules, you built the career, you took on the responsibilities, you became the woman that you were supposed to be. You've been the good daughter, the good mother, the good partner, the good leader. And yet, beneath it all, you feel a hollow space inside you, an ache, a hunger, not for another achievement, not for more validation, but for something ancient, a different way of being, a way of moving through life that feels rich instead of rushed, felt instead of forced, a homecoming. But when you try to reach for it, it's like it slips through your fingers, like a dream you wake up from too soon. And you wonder, why? Why does it feel like I've lost something I never even knew I had? Why do I feel disconnected from my own body? Why do I feel like I'm having to live on the surface of my own life? So let me tell you why. Because this disconnection that you feel, it's not just personal, it's ancestral. You were raised in a world that taught you to silence your desires, that told you your worth was in how much you gave, how much you give, how much you serve, how much you sacrifice of yourself. You were taught that your body is something to control, that your sensuality is something to tame, that your intuition is something to doubt. You inherited the conditioning that said pleasure is indulgent, emotions are weakness, and that your softness is dangerous. You were trained to think rather than feel, to be productive rather than be present, to be controlled rather than to be free. So you learned to perform, to plaster on the smile when you felt empty, to numb yourself with distractions, with overworking, with quiet addictions, to shrink when every cell in your body longed to expand. And now you feel exhausted, you feel restless, and you feel numb. And you've been told this is the way life is. But let me tell you, darlings, that this is a lie. Because the part of you that feels missing, the part of you that aches for something more, or something deeper, something richer, she's still there. And she's waiting for you to remember. So the feminine mysteries has been hidden from you. Before the world told you who to be, before the rules, before the shame, before the conditioning, you already knew how to be a woman. Not the way that they defined womanhood, not in the roles, not in duties, not in what you provide for others, to others, but in the way that you move, the way that you feel, the way that you know through your feminine intuition. This is a large part of what the ancient feminine mysteries were about. And this is what they never wanted you to remember. Women once passed down these sacred teachings. They weren't in books, they were not in theories, but they were in initiation, in secret circles, and whispered truths. Women understood the power of their bodies. They knew that pleasure wasn't a sin, it was a portal. That intuition wasn't irrational, it was sacred intelligence that we had in our body. That emotions weren't erratic, they were messages that we needed to listen to so that we could find more freedom. Women who knew and followed the feminine mysteries honored their cycles, not just the ones in their bodies, but in the rhythms of the earth, the moon, the shifting tides of life itself. And that's what I teach in the sacred cycles, workshops and masterclasses that I do. It's something I teach in the initiation. It's what I bring in every aspect of my work. It's a part of what I teach women, because it is so important for us to come back to this ancient wisdom of honoring cycles. These women, our ancestors, they understood that the feminine wasn't just about softness. She was also fury. She was fierce. She was creation and destruction. And I think of Kali Ma and Shakti, the dark, the wild, the uncontrollable force that no man or empire could fully contain. And that's why they tried to erase her. Because a woman who is fully in her power, fully embodied in her knowing, she is dangerous to a system built on control. And so they buried her. They turned sacred pleasure into sin. They turned intuition into hysteria. They turned the wisdom of the body into something shameful, something dirty, something to fear. And over time, we forgot. We women forgot our power, our magic. But here's what they never counted on. A woman's knowing can be dormant, but it can never be destroyed. It is written in her bones. It is pulsing beneath her skin. And once you start to awaken to this remembering, there is no going back. The journey back begins now. The feminine code is not something new. It's something ancient, something you've always carried. And now it's time to unlock it. It's time to remember, to reclaim it. It's time to unlearn the lies, to unravel the conditioning, to reclaim the sensual, powerful, deeply felt way of being that is your birthright. So if something inside of you is stirring, if your body is whispering, this is it, this is what I've been searching for, then trust it. Because this is only the beginning. In our next episode, we take the first step back home. I'll guide you into the first feminine code, the key to unlocking your magnetism, your presence, and your raw, untamed feminine energy in a way that feels effortless and natural. It's time to remember. Until then, trust yourself and trust the knowing in your bones.